Good morning, good morning. It's Pause with Elizabeth Eleanor, and I'm just checking to see whether I'm here. Yes, I'm here. How is everyone, and how was your beautiful weekend? I hope you had an amazing weekend. Today I wanted to talk about following the threads of intuition or awareness in life and business, and how that creates success and helps support you in moving in towards your true nature and purpose, so that you're in flow with life, right? And you've got that magic happening in your reality. So when you have a thought or an inspiration in some way, and it drops down, like it's dropping down from what I call the superconscious. But you could call it your higher self, you could call it your divine wisdom. I'm just checking to see if I'm live properly. I am. Let me see. Love for you to say hi if you're watching on the live, and if you're watching replay, please put #replay. It's so good to have interaction on these things, and so that I know that I'm serving you to the highest that I can, right? And that it's landing in some way. So when you have inspiration come down and you get an idea for your life, or you get some sort of guidance for business, that is what I would call coming from your intuition, your divine wisdom, your superconscious, higher self, whatever you want to call the language around it. You can get these threads and these drops in when you are in tune and you're in balance within your body, right? You're connected. When you're anxious, when you're overwhelmed, when you're having, there's too much going on, then it's harder to actually hear that stuff. It's harder because you're not grounded. You're not actually in your body, and so therefore your wisdom and your intuition finds it hard to actually get through, because you're not able to hear it, because you've got so much chaos happening in your life and in your body, right? So first of all, you want to be grounded. Good morning, Irene. First of all, you want to be grounded and balanced within yourself. Have you spent time in the morning for your self-care? Have you been meditating? Have you been breathing? Have you been, doing a beautiful morning ritual so that you are centered, and doing that on a regular basis? Because it's important for us to stay in flow with life so that we're not going off track. So when you get these inspired ideas, and sometimes these inspirations can come outside, external to you, once those things, and I'll share a bit of a story in a minute, but once those things sort of drop in, a few things can happen. You can either go with the flow of that and open your awareness to the fact that you have been given some information for you to follow, and then you can be aware of what the trails and the threads are, and the signposts, right? There's little signposts that happen along the way to support that first inspiration, that first intuitive knowing to come through, right? There's these little signposts and a constant, and sometimes depending on how big the inspiration is, the threads can take a long time to come through, and guide you on the right path. The other thing that can happen is we can let our unconscious programming, agenda, dysfunctional formation, whatever you want to call it, reality of being an individual and thinking that we're limited, we can jump straight in with that, and that can then counteract that first inspiration that comes through. And we can come up with all of the reasons why we shouldn't follow that. We may even have, like, you know, a moment of amnesia where we have this inspiration and then it just filters out and we've forgotten it. It's gone. We don't even remember. What was it that I was thinking before? It was a really great idea, right? That sort of thing. And so, or we start having these things of justifying our system, our body, our limited individual that has a name, mine was called Elizabeth, can start coming up with reasons why that won't work. And often those reasons are silent. We've heard them so often and so many times that we don't recognize that they're even being unsupportive to our intuitive nature. And so what happens is, as we're going along, we get all of these ideas of how to move forward, and this works in business extremely well. This works just as well in business as it does in our personal life. We can have these moments of inspiration and negate them so quickly that we're not even aware that we've negated them. And so we've dropped in, this inspiration comes in, these intuitive ideas come in, guiding us towards the dreams and the goals and the vision that we've got in our being, and we just dismiss them. Come up with ideas of, we're not good enough, or that's not going to work, or I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, blah, 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 right? And all of that stuff starts getting in the way of what it is that we are wanting to journey with, you know. We come up with fear. Fear is a big one, because fear is, you know, I'm not good enough at that. That's not possible for me. I'm insignificant, I don't belong, whatever it might be. We come up with all of these reasons why that's not going to work for us, and there we go, get stuck in our current reality and keep treading on this treadmill of limitation and desiring so much more, but not being able to actually increase our abundance, increase our wealth, increase our intuition, increase our health, increase our success in you know, our promotion at work, increase whatever it might be, our happiness, our joy, the opportunity to meet a beautiful partner, whatever it might be, right? We have this inspiration constantly dropping in, and we actually let go of it and don't even recognize it. So how is it, how do you do it? How do you make that part of your life? And it's a little bit of a practice, right? Because if it's something that you're not used to doing, then it takes a little bit of discipline. And one of the things is, if you are struggling with any aspect of your life, you need to spend some quality time with yourself and some self-care. And in the mornings is the perfect time. Having time to yourself, you know, if you're a woman of light that's in the process of mothering at the moment and have children, you know, depending on how early your kids wake up, but you know, you may want to wake up half an hour earlier than previously, and go to bed earlier, right? Like, I know it can be a little bit challenging when you've got children. But it's still possible to take those moments. If you're someone that owns their own business, it's, get into that habit of waking up half an hour earlier and spending that quality time with yourself. Spending time just being, making sure you're having something really beautiful for dinner, for breakfast, if you do have breakfast. I have lemon water every morning, and I take supplements as part of my ritual of my vision of being able to do this and share wisdom and love and remind women of their light for at least the next 30 years, right? So have something of quality in the morning that's going to support your body all the way through your life. And creating that vision of health and vitality and energy and fitness and all of those things. Have that time in the morning. So when you choose to create something, be aware of what it is that you want to create. What is it that you want to, what is your vision? What is your purpose? What is it that you want to, your dreams, your aspirations? What is it that you want to create? And hold that vision on a regular basis. Do it every day. This is where I choose to be. This is my focus. This is where I'm going. And in that process, you can, that's when the inspiration starts coming through, right? So I want to share a bit of a story of what happened for me just recently. One of these threads that I found really beautiful, because I do this on a regular basis. This is how I live my whole life, right? But I had, over the break, I had a friend come down from Sydney. I live in Shore Harbour and beautiful beach, and I had a friend come down from Sydney, and we went to Berry Markets, which is a beautiful little country town, and it's a really quaint market with some beautiful handcrafted food stalls, and we often get all our vegetable seedlings and stuff for our garden at a beautiful stall there. Anyway, there's a shop there that I hadn't been into, and I knew that she'd be interested in, so we go to this shop, and anyway, long story short, she got a packet of divination cards. I think the affirmation cards. They're not tarot cards, but the other type. I don't know what we call them anymore, but anyway, and they were nature cards. And so we all had turns at choosing some cards. And when I picked my card, one of the cards that I picked was a card about trees, and it was saying that the trees want you to talk to them, right? That there's a connection with the trees. And so I took note of that. I'm like, that's interesting, because I know that the cards that I pick are in accordance, the way those cards work is that they work with your energy field. And so it's sort of like the superconscious, your intuition, picking the cards according to what's going on in your own energy field. So I took this card and I noticed it, and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder what's going on there. And so as we were driving home, I was looking at the trees and tuning in and being aware of this connection that was happening. So then, was it last week? Sometime last week or the week before, I was at the beach, and I had a moment with some seaweed. I was in the ocean, and this seaweed, this big piece of seaweed, got wrapped around my ankle, and so I went to grab it off and take it off, but as soon as I picked it up, I realized that it wanted to talk to me, right? And so I had this beautiful moment with the seaweed, and if you'd like to find out more about that, go onto my personal page. Hopefully we're friends on Facebook. I did a Facebook Live about it a little, when I got out of the ocean. And it reminded me of a story I had heard about how some women back in the time when women were being burnt and drowned for being witches, like, so they were just women of light that were herbalists and midwives and part of nature and knew herbal lore. They had all decided to go into the ocean because they'd heard on the they had heard that these men were coming to kill them, and so they'd gone into the ocean and decided to drown themselves rather than let these men drown them. And so they put all of their wisdom into the seaweed. And I'd had this moment with the seaweed at that time, right, where I remembered that, and I just tuned in to the seaweed. The other day, so that's another thread, right? So New Year's Eve, then a couple of weeks ago, this moment, and I'm tuned into the trees. And then a couple of weeks ago, this moment with seaweed, right? On the weekend, I went to my beautiful friend Brenda Rogers. She had her Sacred Nutrition course. And I'm having we've been having a little bit of a challenge with the little dogs that I now have in my life, because I've got my beautiful man Tim in my life, and the dogs are part of his family. And one of them has a huge problem with storms and shakes and carries on and freaks out and has now worked out how to get underneath the big sliding fly screen. So we've been having some challenges with Jedi. And I've been using essential oils. As you can see, I'm a bit of a fan with essential oils, and we've been getting some great results. But the process with the storms is still an issue. So I'd had this thought about Bach flower remedies, and so I went to Brenda's house, and she is a practitioner of Bach flower remedies. And I saw them, and I have studied them way back when I did my massage course, and I asked her if I could make some blends up, and I made one up for Jedi, made one up for myself, made one for my daughter, and made one for my mum. But while I was doing that, I was setting the intention. I had this moment where I was setting the intention as I was dropping them in to connect with each person I was making them for, and then recognized, oh wait a minute, I should be tuning into the plant, into the tree, and this huge different awareness opened up. I had this huge awakening or connection open up into my body of connecting with the plant that I was working with, the vibration of the plant. And so I made them up, and I started driving, and as I was driving, this awareness kept on being part of my field, and I stopped at a set of lights, and I looked over at this big tree. So even in Sydney, ladies, you can find magic and connect with nature, right? I stopped and I saw this big tree, and I was tuning into this big tree, and the tree told me, this is where things are going for you, right? Move into the vibrational Bach remedies, into the Australian bush remedies. That this is going to support you and your clients and whoever else wants to work with you in this way to clear some of the vibrations that are in the unconscious while you're connecting to the superconscious. And I'm like, that's this piece that was coming up in way back in New Year's Eve in these cards, Talk to the Trees, right? So it just started with this tiny little Talk to the Trees and ended up being a new process or step within my business to support me and serve my community even more. So when you're working with your intuition, it's flowing because I've got a particular desire of, reminding women of their, uniting them with their essence, reminding them of their light, sharing with them, that opportunity to awaken and remember who they are. And so here I am on this journey, I'm holding this vision, and that's where the magic comes in. The magic of really connecting with superconscious, with intuition, can support you all the way through and guide you in this beautiful way to in ways that you as an individual may not know. Because when you aren't aware of, when you're stuck in your limitation, the unconscious is limited because it's the very nature of it. It's very limited. It only knows the aspects of the conditions that you've been brought up with and your family lineage, right? So it only knows a small section of the greater whole. But when you can really tap into that higher aspect, that part of you that is connected to everything, that's when the magic happens. That's when you can collapse time. That's when you can really, thank you, Kani. I hope I just said that correctly. Kani, did I just say that correct? That's when you can really, really understand who you are and the power of being, the magical being that you are, the woman of light that you are. And really, that's when the flow happens, right? The flow just happens, and you're just watching the signposts and the threads that are happening. Thank you. Lovely to have you here, Kani. And I'm so glad that it resonates, right? Because this is where women of light, this is where our emerging is really connecting in with what our truth is and resonating with that and just allowing that flow and that journey. And it's so much fun. That's when joy and love and the magic, I don't know how people can live on this planet without the magic of, connecting with your intuition and your light, because and that's why there's so much sadness. It's making me a bit teary. There's so much sadness on the planet because there's so much disconnection. To not be connected to your higher self, that's where torture and hell comes from, So I have an event coming up called Awakening, or Awaken. I think it's called Awakening. And it's coming up very soon. If you're interested in finding out more and would like to, it's a 3-hour mastermind. I'm going to actually give some really beautiful, valuable information about how to do this on a daily basis, what the structure is, so that you're creating magic and reality and bringing them together, getting illogical results really quickly. And we're going to be doing some coaching as well to celebrate, women and to support women in their personal life and their business and their profession. So if you're interested in finding out more about what that entails, I actually just put yes please and we'll send you the link so that you can have a look. It's coming up soon. I don't know when, but it's actually, it is this month, or is it? Yes, I think it's this month. So maybe even next week sometime. So and celebrating that awe of alignment and synchronicity. Connection is so important. It so is, right? It absolutely is. And when you're connected and you're living in that flow, it's when the magic happens. And this is where success comes from: abundance, financial freedom, We were not put onto this planet to live in limitation. We were here, we're designed, and the whole process is to discover who we are and to really step into our strength and power. So if that sounds like you're interested in finding out about awakening, just put yes please, and we'll send you the link. I hope you have a beautiful magic day. Remember to really connect in with your superconscious and your intuition, whatever you want to call it. And I will see you on Wednesday. Wednesday Wisdom at the moment. We've changed it around this year. Yes, please. I love the link. Awesome. Carney, my team will give that to you. Enjoy your grandkids. On Wednesdays, I used to interview a different woman each week, but I'm actually right now, I've changed it around this year because I really want to dive into topics that are important, I feel important to women of light. And so I've been working, the first couple of sessions have been with Brenda Rogers and talking about being a woman, you know, body image, sacred nutrition, and really taking ownership and power back. So this Wednesday we're going to do another deep dive, and we're not sure what it's going to be about yet, so you're going to have to wait and see. But enjoy the start of your week. Create what you want. Stay focused on your vision, right? And we will catch you on Wednesday. Mwah.